Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are joining me for the first time today. My name is Lucy and today I created this gorgeous hot versus cold inspired look, I guess you could call it, using the brand new NIKKIE Tutorials and BEAUTYBAY collaboration palette. So if you do want to see how I created this look and what the palette is like, then please do keep on watching. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and show you the palette. So this is the box that the palette has come in. I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see because my lights are reflecting in it, but it's just a black box with little sparkly speckles all over it. And then we've obviously got the little keyhole to show you like the design of the palette inside, and obviously up the top it says NIKKIE Tutorials and BEAUTYBAY. And this baby right here is the palette. Now this is actually a very unique concept. I've never really seen a palette quite like this before. The idea of the palette is that there is two sides, so we've got the lighter side of the palette which looks like so, and then when you open up the other half you have got slightly darker shades, so it's sort of like the light section and the dark section of the palette. Now I'm not sure that this palette actually has a particular name. As far as I'm aware, it's called Temple Tutorials because that's what she kept talking about in her YouTube video when she revealed the palette, but it doesn't actually say that anywhere on the palette, so I can't be too sure. So as I did just show you, the palette opens up by opening both the little doors outwards, and then we've got the palette inside. We also have two mirrors on either side of the doors. So the first mirror is just your very average sort of mirror. It's not zoomed in at all, and it says underneath here, I am me. And the second mirror is actually a magnified mirror, which NIKKIE said she was fighting for with the BEAUTYBAY team for so long, and I really love the idea of having a magnified mirror in a makeup palette. It's so much easier sometimes to work with a magnified mirror when you're doing your eyeshadow or your eyeliner than it is just with a normal mirror, so I like the option that you've got both in here. Yeah, I'm just pretty obsessed with this packaging. I think it's absolutely stunning, and then the back looks like so. It's got a little bit of writing on the back here which NIKKIE has obviously written herself just to say thank you to anyone who purchased the palette. And I think I'm just gonna jump right in. I have no idea really what colors I'm gonna do. If I'm being 100% completely honest, I don't really feel like this palette is giving me loads of inspiration. With most palettes I can look at a palette and be like, oh yes, I know what colors I want to put together, but with this one I'm a little bit umming and ahhing about what colors I'm gonna go for. I am definitely very drawn to this bright red shade in the middle, which is named NIKKIE, which is named after her brother who sadly passed away a couple of years ago. But I think I'm just gonna have to get started and see where my brushes take me. So before going in with any eyeshadow, as always I have to prep my eyes first, so I'm gonna start by taking the Plouise base as I always do, just to give it a fair test. This one is in the shade Rumor 1, and speaking of Plouise, if you haven't seen my previous two videos then you should go and watch them. So having used quite a lot of BEAUTYBAY eyeshadows and palettes before, I already know that the quality of this palette should be amazing. The formula of the BEAUTYBAY eyeshadows are generally really good, so I have high hopes for this palette. So I don't believe that I've done a red, orange, yellow kind of look in quite a while, so I think that's what I'm gonna go for today. So as I said previously, I'm gonna start with the red shade in the middle of the palette, which is called NIKKIE, and I'm taking that on a Makeup Addiction pencil brush, and I'm going to start by packing that right the way through my crease. So right off the bat, the formula of this red eyeshadow is really nice. It's obviously super pigmented, as you can probably tell. It's not too warm toned, not too cool toned. It's like the true perfect red shade. So there's that red shade laid down. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Redemption, which is this beautiful orange shade right up in the corner, and I'm going to go in with a Unicorn Cosmetics brush to blend that on top. I feel the rain crashing down all around. Now I'm going to go for the shade VLA, which is the bright neon yellow shade. It's definitely quite a quirky colour. I'd say it's actually quite in between a yellow and a lime green. I'm very intrigued to see how this one will perform because, as we know, pastel light shades don't always perform the best on the eye, but I'm very intrigued by this one. Okay, so it is a really nice shade and it's definitely blending out really nicely. I would say it's a very subtle blend at the moment because the orange and the yellow are quite pastel colours, so it's not like giving me a super bright effect. For me personally, I prefer when the colours are slightly brighter. I prefer a bright yellow over a pastel yellow, but that's obviously complete personal preference. But all in all, it's blending out really nice so far. I am going to go through and build up the colours afterwards, but I'm just going to go ahead and put the yellow on the other side. Okay, so now I have the red, orange and yellow blended onto my eye. I think I want to try some of these gorgeous shimmer shades, so I'm going to go ahead and cut my crease into a half cut crease shape. As always, just starting with some makeup remover and a cotton bud just to cut out the shape so I know where my cut crease is going to go. And to go ahead and cut the crease, as always, I'm using the Plouise and Mitchell Acid Rain Eye Paint in the shade Blank Canvas. I'm also taking that with my Acid Rain brush too, which is really nice and flat and perfect for cutting the crease. Okay, so now that my crease is cut, I think I want to go in with a couple of shimmer shades on the lid. From the review videos I've watched about this palette already, it seems like the shimmer shades are really stunning, so I can't wait to try. I'm very drawn to the shade Ivy up here, which is like a really beautiful pearlescent silver shade, and I think that Mama Tutorials down here, which is in aqua blue, could also look really nice complementing the red. I think I'm going to start with the shade Ivy, which is that silver shade, and I'm just going to take that along the top edge of my cut crease. Okay, so this shade isn't picking up with a brush at all. I actually think it's a pressed pigment shade, which is why it's really not picking up well with a brush. You can tell it's obviously picking up loads of pigmentation on my finger, but I do really need to use the brush to actually apply it. And then on my finger, I'm going to go in with the shade Mama Tutorials and just pack that over the rest of my lid. And when you pick them up on your finger, they definitely do show off a lot better. The problem with picking them up on your finger is that your finger doesn't give you a very precise application if you're putting it onto a cut crease. I think these shimmers would probably work better if you had sort of a wash of colour all over your eye and then you sort of messily applied it to your lid or even on your inner corner. I'm just trying to blend these two shades together a little bit and it's not really working out how I thought it was gonna go. I'm just now going to go in on the outer corner of that cut crease and take that red shade again and just start to pack it over the very edge. I've just finished up putting the rest of my makeup on and now I'm ready to go underneath the eyes. I'm first starting with my Ardell Beauty gel liner. This is their white one. These are one of the best formulas of gel liner pencils that I've ever tried. I'm just going to take this in my waterline to add a little bit of a pop to there. Okay, now I'm going in with the shade Amsterdam, which is the dark navy blue shade in the palette, and I'm just going to run this underneath my lower lash line and connect it to the wing on the outer edge. And then I'm going to go in with the shade Plot Twist, which is this gorgeous pastel blue shade, on a slightly smaller brush, and I'm going to blend that underneath the darker blue. Now, this look is looking very crazy at the moment, but I'm hoping that by the time I get my lashes and my mascara on, it will start to come together a little bit. I'm just going to coat my lashes with some mascara and pop some falsies on, and I'll be back to finish up with the lips. Okay, so as you can see, I have my lashes on now. I went ahead and put on the Tatty Lashes TL2. And finally, I'm going to finish up with my lips. I'm thinking that I want to go for an orange lip just to draw in the orange from the eyes. So I'm going to start by taking the Peggy Sage Orange Lip Crayon. I think this shade is Bonneville. And I'm just going to use this to line my lips. Now I'm going in with one of the sleek soft matte lip clicks in the shade You Already Know, which is a beautiful orange shade. And And this is the orange lip on. I actually really like it because it makes my teeth look so white. And this, you guys, is my finished look using the brand new NIKKIE Tutorials in collaboration with BEAUTYBAY palette. I do think that the formula of the shadows in the palette were really beautiful. They blended out really nicely. The shimmer shades are gorgeous, although they did not pick up at all with the brush. I really do think that they'd be better off by applying them with your fingers if you can. The one thing I think that I will say, which I do say about most palettes that I review on my channel, is that I do wish it had either a black or a white or both in the palette. I do feel like with this palette it is lacking quite a lot of dark sort of transition blending shades. With me, you guys know that I always like to start with the darkest shade first, and in this palette I don't really feel like you've got a load of options to start with the darkest shades. The blue shade that I used underneath my eye, the darker blue, is absolutely stunning. It's full of pigmentation and it blended really nicely, although the lighter blue definitely didn't show up as well. It's very sheer. You can barely even see it on my eyes. I know that is just because it's a pastel color and pastel colors don't tend to show up as much, but yeah, it could also be because I was applying it on top of the powder on my under eye, but I'm not really sure what happened there. It's not really showing up. Other than that, I really do like this palette. I'm absolutely obsessed with the packaging. It is a really unique concept and the palette itself is really stunning. Huge congratulations to NIKKIE and BEAUTYBAY on this gorgeous palette, and thank you so much for sending it over for me to try. I really hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you did, then please make sure to leave me a thumbs up, a comment down below, and also subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Don't forget you can also find me over on my Instagram and on my TikTok, which I will attach on the screen now. Please feel free to come and follow me over on those platforms if you want to see more of my content. And for now, I think I'm going to wrap this one up here. So thank you so much again for watching as always, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye!